Okay, we're finally at, I think, the end. Not that long. Player. Loading. Sidequest Legends. News. Ready. Start. We should be at the adventurers camp. So we lost Bryn. Very sad because she was a good. She was another rogue that we didn't have to. Well, she was a ranger with rogue skills. Oh, yeah, there we go. So,
by your leave.
Is there anything we still need to sell so that we're not carrying around a bunch of junk? No, we've got our weight under control. Alright, we need to go to the camp. Underdark, which is here. Since we're going to the end, let's bring Illydia. We need a rogue, so let's bring Larethar and Ahmet. There we go. That feels like a good end party. It's suspiciously like our starting party, but whatever. There we go.
At your service.
I was hoping for more danger.
Heads up! It's coming!
We don't really need to trouble here.
Yes?
Anyone else hungry?
Big spell coming!
How may I serve?
Oh, okay. That was awesome.
It was awesome. Thanks. Alright. Onward to the end of the game, hopefully. Forlorn Cliffs? Yes. Tezera's camp. Excellent.
As you wish. Of course. Right away. I can. What is it you require? Of course.
Are we just gonna be able to walk right up to it? Excellent. Open volume. Swordquest Legends. Really low again. There we go. Interact with the pedestal.
The altar uses attunement stones to change the portal's location. Theoretically, we should be able to use those stones we got earlier to follow Tacitus.
We should make sure we're prepared before opening a portal to some unknown location.
Oh. This is the point of no return. Oh yeah, no, that looks point of no return-y.
Well, nothing bad came out. That's a good sign, right?
It means they're not expecting us. We should go now before it's too late.
Let's not rush to our deaths unprepared. Make sure everything is in order before stepping through that portal.
Oh, and we don't get multiple saves, do we? Once we go through, we're through. Yeah, here we go. To the end game. Yeah, we're not gonna go find the other marked rubies that are buried somewhere in the world. So, not 100% completion, and I'm fine with that.
I was afraid I wouldn't have the power to bring you here. We are in a place between places.
Oh, the end of
I
time.
brought you here with the last breath of power in my wasting soul, augmented by the power of the Moon Tier. I am Gareth Dawntreader.
Right.
My brother and I
We
founded the
remember
Order
them
of the
from the
Burning
very
Dawn
beginning
long
of the
ago,
game.
and we bound ourselves to Belaphoss the Hated to do it. By doing so, we set into motion the events that you are facing today.
Oh, hey, look, our whole team is here. You can see Iskin sort of hidden behind Dalinir. There's Jarhild and Lydia. There's Amit, Javen, Larethar.
Not this specifically, but when I realized that my mind was wasting away, I understood that something
Look at
must
our
be
goofy
done.
hats.
My brother and I had heard legends of the Moon Tier, a powerful elven relic that could bring peace to Toril at last. We made finding this relic our cause, for every young guild must have one, and swore to do all we could to find it. But we had naught but the clothes on our backs and the weapons in our hands. So we sought a patron, someone who could lend us
Demon was
aid
the
as we
wrong
nourished our
choice,
young
I'm
order.
going to say.
The demon Belaphoss came to us in the form of a spirit of fortune. We were young, ambitious, foolish. We saw only the glory of finding a powerful relic. We could not see the demon's true intentions. Sometime after the oath was made, we noticed strange things. I first noticed my brother's wild mood swings, from gentle to violent in the blink of an eye. I found that thought came less easily to me, and that I hungered only for raw meat. We began to hear only words of hatred and pain coming from one another. My brother tore at me for being soft, while I attacked him for his lesser intelligence. In front of the founding members of the Order, my brother and I fell apart. Greed, pride, wrath.
Okay.
All in the space of moments, all directed at one another. It was more than a sane mind could bear. The gods abandoned us the moment we swore an oath to Belaphoss the... My brother and I fought atop a tower not much different from this place. As clearly as I remember my brother's face, frozen in sudden revelation as I drew my dagger across his throat. As I watched him die, I realized that he had fatally struck me as well. I took my final breath right where you stood. The demon's power over us faded as we died. In the Yes, the stain of our mistaken oath to Belaphoss never touched the legacy of the Order, despite the beliefs of many overzealous knights to the contrary. It pains me to see what has befallen our Order. It appears that my brother and I are not the only ones empowered to make terrible misjudgments. A crude attempt to communicate to you the urgency of the situation. My power is limited, even now, in the vicinity of the Moon Tier. I had only the language of dreams with which to craft my message. My apologies for the abstract nature of the missives. Dreams are nothing if not an imperfect medium.
So he was the one sending us the nightmares about how the... Okay. He needs to work on his narrative.
You have a decision to make. One that could have consequences both great and small. The near certainty of victory at the cost of a relic of powerful divinity, or the preservation of that relic at the risk of losing everything. If you do not destroy the object our Order was founded to find, you risk the demon completing his ascension. But if you do, you commit a great blasphemy against a goddess of the Seldarine. And there may yet be a third option. It may be possible for a faithful follower of Sehanine to cleanse the relic of its corruption. It is the ultimate sacrifice. Her body will die, but her soul could live on inside the relic. I cannot make that choice for you. Only you know the importance of the Moon Tier to this modern world. And to the friend, speak with your companions and hear their concerns. You may find that their wishes simplify the decision. Make your decision, and face the demon in final battle. My friend, I must go. I give my final spark of power to maintain this place.
Okay.
The only answers you need are the ones you shall
Okay.
Oblivion calls to me, and I must answer. May the gods have mercy.
If Illydia is fine
What were all that about?
with
The founder of our
the
guild
best
telling us we have a big
plan,
decision to
we'll go
make.
with that.
Oh, is that all?
And what have you decided? What more do you need to know? Belaphoss has the Moon Tier. He will use it to complete his ascension. If he does, he could become a demon lord. He'd return to the Abyss as a god.
Oh no. Guess who he'll come after first? Hint, us.
If I may put forth an unpopular position, while I disagree violently with Tarmakos's methods, his argument does have merit. If we fail to reach Belaphoss in time, then he will most certainly use the Moon Tier to gain immense power.
We've seen that the Moon Tier is corrupted. What? I hate to say it, but what if it wants to be used this way?
I will certainly go along with your decision. I don't wish to see the lovely Illydia upset. But we should weigh the possibility that choosing her wishes over the security of Faerun could be problematic.
And what have you decided?
We'll do the hard way. We're gonna preserve
Thank
the
you.
Moon Tier.
I understand what I ask of you, and I appreciate your willingness to try.
Let us take advantage of your founder's gift. Take a moment. Speak with each...
Sehanin smiles upon you.
All right, everyone. Is anyone else need to heal? All right, we'll just go around in a circle. Hi, Hobbit.
I had a feeling you might come talk to me. Oh, not that I don't want to. Honestly, I have no idea what to do. Other than beating up the demon, that is. Oh, I knew you'd ask me that. On one hand, I never thought I'd be involved in choosing whether a friend lives or dies. And God curse me, I think we have to destroy the Moon Tier. Oh, Illydia will be furious, but she'll be alive, and Belaphoss will be stopped. It's like trying to decide which bowl of weak old vegetable stew to eat. You know, no matter which way you choose,
That's
you're just
an
going to be sick.
analogy.
Ooh, you're very confident, aren't you? I wish I was so sure. I've changed my pants several times since we've been here, you know. Figuratively, I mean. There really isn't anywhere to change. I just want to say that it's been an honor fighting and traveling with you. That day my caravan was I should, go get prepared for the battle.
We'll be fine on it. Oh, we can
It
talk to
has
him
been
again?
an honor to fight with you.
Hey, Jarhill, what do you have to say?
Ah, you big baby. Come to share a bit of a cry and find someone to hug, have you? Well, you won't find that here, me friend. This is a time for celebration and glory, not for weeping and carrying on. I knew you'd come asking me that. It doesn't always pay to be the wise one in this group. People always asking me for advice. I'll tell you the truth as I see it. It makes little difference to me one way or the other. Regardless of what happens to that wee magic rock, I'm planning to be handing that demon its head at the end of the day. Safest thing would be to destroy the bleeding thing and get it over with. But Illydia has her plan and she's ready to die for her goddess. I can't say I don't respect that. You don't have to give me the pep talk. You've known me long enough to know I'm ready. At least if we make it through, I'm finally free to be myself and keep fighting. Though I'm not sure escorting him. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got preparations to make.
By your leave.
Don't get all weepy.
We'll save Illydia for last.
At your
Delania,
service.
you're next.
It's an interesting time, isn't it, my friend? To battle, to the last, with the fates of friends and the civilized world. I was a fugitive from Menzo Berenzan when we met, hiding in a lawless city of pirates. Now I wear my true face among friends, and I lay my life on the line for the Sword Coast. Illydia has made it clear that it is not my decision. Of all of us, she only seems to trust your counsel. Far be it from me to second-guess another's faith, but in a situation like this, we need a sure thing. The demon hopes to draw power from the Moon Tear to fuel its ritual. Illydia is willing to wager her life that a consecrated Moon Tear would be useless to Belaphoss. Knowing what my brother is capable... He may be an overzealous, mass-murdering madman, but that doesn't preclude him from being right, from time to time. I should take a moment to go over my spells, and try to remember it.
His spells and his hammer.
Give me a moment to go over my...
At once.
Speaking of
yes?
Javen,
When I heard that some members of the Burning Dawn survived the initial raids, yet here we are, allies against the demon. And I now... You have. And I have done, and will continue to do, terrible things in my quest to see that no
not
demon or
comforting.
devil gains a hold on this world. But today, our destroying the Moon Tear will deal the demon a powerful blow. Then you are unsure of your decision. Do not let the... I have prayers to give and blessings to ask before they come. Do not interrupt my...
Hey,
So,
over
you
here. I don't know if you've noticed, but I don't think we're in the Underdark anymore. The others don't seem to be aware, so I think I might be dreaming. I figured I'd go stab the dwarf to make
there's
sure.
more than one dwarf. You're gonna have to. Oh.
Tough decision. So many options. Perhaps one, then the other. Or both at the same time. The bearded one would seem the easier target. The other one is rather scary. You know, dream person, I never thought I'd be doing anything like this. I figured that it was just enough to be Lord of the Dark, but now I'm Lord of the Dark, protector of the world. The women shall swoon. The men shall coo. My power shall be such that my merest effort will break the wind. Truly it shall, and the world will bow before the mighty Ishkin, Lord of the Dark. Of course I shall be a benevolent ruler, assuming benevolent means what I think it means. Now go! We have much to do. A demon to kill. A band of companions to do... Oh, forget that last part. Think quietly.
Hey, Larethar.
This might not be the best time to speak to me.
Think. Sounds like Lydia's all ready to die to save the Moon Tear. And I guess you agree. But all I can think of is how badly I don't want that to happen. She took her out like me and gave him something to live for. Before her, it were all wall-to-wall drinks, women, rash ideas. If she's gone, what's the bloody point? You talk about her as if she's already dead. And who's... That elf woman over there is the best thing that ever happened to me. Friend or lover, cleric or angel, she makes me feel more than just another drunken dwarf, pinching asses and stinking up the place. And the only way to save her is to go against everything she believes in and destroy the one object in all the world more precious to her than life itself. Curse the gods. I'm a dog wearing a bear man's clothes. I always will be. And when Liddy's gone, those clothes are coming off. That's not exactly what I meant. But come to think of it, it's not that far off. I've got to get my head straight for the battle. And it's been great battling evil with you. I'll be ready when the...
All right.
A moment of silence before the storm. This is a blessing among blessings. You say you support my decision to sacrifice myself to cleanse the moon tier. It makes my heart proud to have such friends who understand the truth of my purpose. And I appreciate that more than you know. It has been a long, strange journey, my friend. When we met under threat of a mercenary attack, I never thought one day it would become so difficult. Your decision to conscript the knight has made that easier. But our friendship goes back further than that. Back to the day. It will know because the moon tier will be there, shining Sehanin's light into the dark. When the end comes, dear one, know that we have all done what we can, and that the world... For now, I must prepare for the battle.
See, this is a great... Something like this is what games like this need.
How may
near
I
the
serve?
end. Just a
What
nice
is it you
little
require?
Quiet moment prior
We
to,
have precious little
all
time
of
to
the
talk.
nonsense that's going
We
to
must
happen.
prepare to preserve the moon tier.
It's a shame it's
Right
not
away.
attached to a significantly better game, but, you know, this has been solid enough. Alright, City Gates. So let's assume that what happened with Bryn will happen again. And where she was, if she was in the party, it looked like she was just going to be made to leave. So let's Larethar, Amit. Javen or Jarhield? Javen.
By your leave. As you wish.
You are making a grave mistake by not resolving to see the moon tier destroyed. But we shall see how things play out in the battle.
Illydia places her faith in the moon tier. Maybe you could learn something from her example.
Your elven harpy is blinded by ill-chosen
Maybe we should
fate
have brought
and a lifetime of
Jarhield.
hoping for redemption. There is no saving this relic, not without risking the world. You have my sword, until you prove unworthy.
Well, in the name of that elven harpy, you have mine too.
Metaphorical swords, guys, right? Dark Lake Ruins. Yeah, I guess that's Belaphoss.
The demon is here. I can feel its blasphemy in the very air. Let us make haste!
we should have brought Dallin here. No, this here proved to be a liability on the dragon.
Foolish mortal clay, with such dreams of grandeur, I knew you would come in time to witness my ascension. Now I take my rightful place as a demon lord. Fall to your knees, for I shall return to the abyss as a god. Such grandiose words emerging from the mouths of insignificant worms. Tasilis, prepare the moon deer for consumption. I will see to these motes of quivering dust.
Yes, my lord.
Come forth, and be the first to fuel the ascension of Belaphoss the Unholy.
You call this a challenge?
Alright, we can't attack Tasilis.
Need some?
Larethar, you have stuff? Well, okay then. Let's go ahead and just get you some giant pile of hit points.
At your service.
What can I do for you?
So let's get Larethar and Comet spread out.
Do you have orders?
Yes?
What?
Can I help?
Now you die.
Pray for guidance.
Yes.
My lord,
Not Radiant Pulse. Where's Sign of Vulnerability?
I'll help you. Yes?
Okay. Let's try to hold Monster Belaphoss.
I await orders.
What is it you require?
Out of the fire.
By your leave.
At your command.
Nuke the closets.
How may I serve?
Over here! Help! At your service.
Need some?
Can anyone heal me?
Let's get some potions.
Yes? How may I serve?
There you go.
What's up?
There you go.
Do you have orders? My lord,
What is it you require?
face judgment! My strength is failing. I await orders. As you command.
By your leave. Of course.
At your command.
At your service.
Heads up!
Yes?
How may I serve? Affirmative.
How may I serve?
We should have. Is this A to Z? No. Is that A to Z? Is this A to Z?
What is it you require? By your leave.
What can I do for you?
Something I can do?
Yes.
found wanting. Bleed for your sin.
Yes?
You are found wanting. Hands. I will return last.
By your leave. Right away.
Incoming! What do you need?
There we go, it's working now. Easy. I hate how it doesn't reset, or how it always resets the list here. Not by type. Not highest weight. Close enough.
Does anyone else feel like they just got run over by a horse?
Do you have orders?
Can I help?
Yes.
At your service.
My lord?
I think I'm dying! Yes?
I await orders.
Yes?
Need summer?
What's that?
How may I serve? I'm here.
At your command.
What is it you require? As you wish. Of course.
Need healing.
Something I can do.
How may I serve?
By your leave. At once.
Do you have orders?
At your service.
What can I do for you?
Yes? Right away.
What do you need?
How may I serve?
Can I help? Sure. Can anyone heal me? I got it. Yep.
What is it you require? By your leave.
What?
At your service.
My lord? I await orders.
I can do that. How may I serve?
Yes?
What is it you require?
Here!
By your leave.
Rock a nail on that one.
At your service.
Something I can do. What do you need? Sure.
Yes? How may I serve?
What's this? Sign of vulnerability.
Can I help? Yes? What's that? All right.
What is it you require?
Something I can do.
By your leave.
Need summer?
Yes, as you wish.
Yeah, sorry.
At once. Right away. I could use some help here. What is it you require?
What can I do for you?
By your leave. As you wish.
You have orders?
Yes.
My lord, all my strength is failing.
How may I serve?
Wow, that hurt.
I await orders. At your command.
What is it you require?
How may I serve?
By your leave. At your service.
Here we go. Let's go.
What do you need?
Yes.
Can I help? Done.
Okay, we're on to phase
Enough
2.
of this swatting at flies. Servant, is the ritual ready?
Yes, my lord. The moon tier is fully prepared. All the power within is yours for the taking.
Excellent. Let us begin. Despair, mortals, for a god is about to be born.
Well, I
I
assume
can't let
Illydia's...
this happen. Blessed Sehanine, Lady
Oh,
of
hey,
Dreams,
quest updated.
grant your
Autosave.
servant the power to do your will.
Yep, see, she
No.
popped in.
Destroy the corrupted relic. It is the only way.
Sehanine, take my offering, my life, to cleanse your relic of the corruption within. With my sacrifice, bring your light to this dark place.
Yeah, I don't think I should stop
You are
her.
making a dire mistake, Elf. I will do what is needed to stop you.
Sehanine, I feel your light within me. Let me shine your power into the darkness. My goddess, it's so wonderful. Forgiven.
That does not look like... Okay, there we go.
No, I will not be defeated.
Enough! Thank you, Belaphoss, you simple fool. Your only job was to buy me time while I drained the moon tier. And you couldn't even manage to do that.
Betrayer, I will burn your mind to cinders.
Shh, dear simple demon. Your service, such as it was, is at an end. But
Oh no,
fear not.
who would have thought?
You will live on through me. Through my reign over the bastard children of Loth. Your power may not be enough to make me a god, but I'll take what I can get.
I somehow feel like... Oh, okay.
Who's first?
Pause. It's potion time. You know what? Storm
How may I
Giant
serve?
Strength. Sphinx's
What is it you
Wisdom.
require?
Yeah, sure. More poison damage. Hey, what do you want to be doing? Here, let's use this Scroll of
Yes?
Disintegrate. Good, good. Danger.
Do you have orders?
Sign of vulnerability. Let's summon our spirit. What?
My lord,
At your service.
What can I do for you?
I await orders.
What's that?
Oh, let's destroy the dimensional rift first, team.
You are found wanting.
How may I serve?
Bleed for your sins.
You know, Tassilis is not really seeming that dangerous. There's probably going to be a third phase.
What is it you require?
Is failing.
At your service.
At your command.
Yes?
Oh.
How may I serve? What is it you require?
Wait, that's it? Complete Act 3, complete story mode on hard mode. Kinda don't feel like the final boss was... Illithid was a much cooler fight. Well, then again, I did blow all sorts of consumables.
The hideous abomination which had previously been Tassilis Chafir fell at your feet. Neither truly mortal nor truly demonic, the creature writhed and cried out to the demon lord Demogorgon before burning to
We
ash
fought
and
some of his
crumbling
priests
into
during
dust.
the campaign. That's a neat little tie back. In the silence, you'd swear you could hear resonating from within the stone Illydia's voice. Javan Tamakos was so moved by her sacrifice that he swore to reform the Gilded Eye. It would be a difficult struggle, but in the name of the elf who gave her life for this world, he would succeed.
The rest of your companions parted to continue their lives, but they kept in touch, ready to pick up the sword or the staff should darkness threaten the world once more.
Jarhild took her leave for a time, traveling the land and forging a network of soul swords and soul cores. She briefly visited home in Mirabar, but now she pesters you for work. Or more precisely,
Dalanir
adventure.
Chafir continued his life as Soranil Noonshadow, Luskan's premier information broker.
His sister Talistra remained silent, unseen, following Tassilis' death. It is not clear whether she gave up hunting Dalanir or if she simply lost him in the chaos. Why didn't they voice over all of the
Larethar
lines?
Gulgrin had a world opened before him, nearly infinite possibilities for a dwarf of his experience.
Without Illydia, he was never the same. Oh, that's sad. These days, he is a ghost at the cutlass, nursing a flagon and mumbling about better days. Amit Shah returned finally to Longsaddle, where he reclaimed his place as a true Harspell. He studied and told stories of his adventures, starting with the time he defeated a cave of mercenaries and
He
goblins.
keeps in touch via the Sending Stone, though at times you wish he wouldn't. And it was through great effort that you were released from servitude to Ishkin, Lord of the Dark. Strangely, he still shows up from time to time, whether you need him or not. He claims that he and Golgamon now rule an empire of slimes in a deep corner of the Underdark. He still threatens to kill you at every opportunity. Though your deeds ended the designs of a deadly and powerful demon, it is clear that your tale was not at an end. There is something out there, something evil and hungry, seeking to unleash chaos and endanger the world. But that is a story for a different day. Rest now, heroes. The whole of the Sword Coast owes you a great debt, and your companions await your next journey. This and your adventures to follow shall become legend.
So, the end portion of the game is actually good. You've got enough abilities, you don't have a lot of cooldowns, you've got some interesting scenarios in the Duragar city. The final choice with Illydia is neat, even if you kind of have to remember not to bring her in your party, because I'm pretty sure they would have just stolen her without giving you a chance to tag someone else in like they did with Bryn. I actually think that the worst part of the game is at the start when you don't have a full team. Like, if we remember what were the hardest fights, those two wolves near the start and the portion of the game where Larethar is supposed to sneak in on his own, but you can't map transition without the whole team. Oh, this is a nice song. You're gonna have to listen to me talk over it, though. I think that without the multiplayer aspect, this game would have been received a lot better. The poor multiplayer portion of the game, and just the terrible experience as a single player at low levels if you only have one character. If you remember the early videos where there's not a lot happening, we're waiting 20 to 30 seconds for cooldowns, it's just not a good experience. So it wasn't that bad here because we were able to jump between the four characters. Your build complexity, it was pretty clear what you should do with each character. I think we only really swapped up Larethar because we got a second dual wield road, and no one needs two dual wield roads. I kind of didn't like that our companions got special trees because we felt compelled to use those special trees. I think if they had just been the core classes, we would have been a little more free to mess things up, like Dalinir having Debilitating Strike in his personal tree made me feel like I had to make him a melee mage, which is fine. I love melee mages. His 60-some hit points, we saw that in the Illithid fight. He was kind of a liability, so I probably should have bumped his constitution a little bit. The individual side quest stories were good enough. Some of the companion quests were better than others. Bryn's quest with the reveal that she was actually a succubus makes a little more sense. It still feels weird, but whatever. It was all right. I don't understand why Iskin needed to exist at all, but I didn't mind. I didn't mind it. It was a nice late addition that ensured you couldn't screw up having a rogue for the end. If you had somehow screwed up Larethar and weren't using the respecs, you had a rogue for that end portion where you needed one. Let's see. Illydia, I don't think I ever changed her bow from the healing bow she started with. Just because of how Divine Strike works, where it scales off wisdom, not weapon damage, I never felt like she needed a new bow, which is fine because we can lose her at the end there. Jarhild as a fighter, I didn't use her personal tree much until the last third of the game, but she was just a bad fit since I already was going to end up having a tank. So that was fine. Hamid is a pretty good take on a wizard early on, though necromancy didn't feel very necromancy, and we also got him and then went to Luskin where one of our major sections was an undead crypt, so you very early on probably spec him away from necromancy, and then at that point Raised Dead is really the only thing we were using on him, and Raised Dead is really good, almost possibly the best of his available things. Oh yeah, that is the Baldur's Gate music guy, isn't it? So yeah, that brings us to Larethar was better as an archer than as a dual wielder. Bryn, for the time you have her, I really like rangers in this game with their combination of nature magic and bows. So I was kind of sad. Oh, the software is provided as is without warranty of any kind, express or implied. such as that, you know, the servers would stay online. You know what? That's good. Oh wait, no, these are this isn't for the game. These are for the different things. So, okay, I should have paid closer attention. After Bryn, we talked a little bit about Dalinir. Javen, I feel like all of the companions, Javen probably suffers the most from this. There was more story that could have happened with them. Like, why is he carrying around a picture of a succubus just everywhere he goes? Feels weird. Honestly, if the whole experience of the game was from the guild, from about where we get Brain to the end, I think the game would have been a lot better. I don't mind. So, in some games where they take your characters away, I mind it. But in here, no one feels super critical to your team composition. So, stealing Bryn, stealing Bellamy, and stealing Illydia from you at the end, if you go that route, didn't feel bad to me. Especially Bellamy, because it's so early and you immediately get John. Because of how they take Bryn away from you, feel like instead of Iskin, they should have had a late game ranger, just so that you got to have a ranger the whole way through. But yeah, like overall, maybe like a solid C+. Like, not great. Its biggest problems are the multiplayer, which was just a sad experience. You can't really see that the dungeon master tools were not that great. You couldn't, like in Neverwinter Nights or Solasta, where you can make maps. You kind of generated them, maybe placed traps or ambushes. You weren't creating a story so much as you were creating a dungeon, and we're going to use dungeon very loosely here. Yeah, I think overall, the game is not great. It was not going to be the next Neverwinter Nights or Baldur's Gate or Neverwinter Nights 2. You know, it wasn't going to be any of that. But it's solid. Like, if you can get through the early game hump, which honestly, also I think if we were playing gameplay, we were playing on hard the whole way through. So I think if you had been playing on normal, you wouldn't have hit that roadblock at the beginning with the wolves. You wouldn't have needed as many cooldown cycles to kill things. So your cooldowns would have been ticking down as you moved between fight to fight, as opposed to being stuck waiting on cooldowns during big fights. It didn't help that early on, I think my cleric build just didn't do enough damage. We really didn't come online until we received all of those plus radiant damage items. So we were generally stuck with Illydia and the main character, Larethar, who were just both kind of mellow damage for early on. So not only did we have long cooldowns, our damage wasn't great. So part of the slow combat early on might have just been I wasn't doing very good. I didn't like that lots of things weren't clear to me. Like, if we look at Dalinir's build, he had that layer. Let's just do a dungeon crawl real fast. And dungeon crawl. Because it'll be helpful if we're looking at people's builds while we talk about this. Whatever, I don't care. I don't care. Defeat a boss, edit quest. Did we ever fight a beholder? I don't remember. Back, accept. There we go.
At once.
Oh, the beholder must be from Rage of Demons. Magma caves. Quest slot. Oh, hey, we can just. We still have access to. I thought we had gotten Bellamy higher. Whatever. Where's Dalany? We're not actually going to do the dungeon crawl. We're just going to show this. Here's Dalamir. Like, see this 9 to 27 cold damage over 10 seconds. How does where is his how does this +1 to all cold damage dealt? Now this might be why I never really did gear him properly. But how does that interact with 9 to 27 cold damage? Let's take it off real fast. Because it still says 9 to 27 cold damage. We put this back on. So is it now 10 to 28 over 10 seconds? Or is each tick of those 10 seconds at +1 cold damage? Do you see how those are two very different things? We come up here, let's look at the character. Like, I never felt like I cared about any of these resistances. I never really paid attention to them. Because even on hard, like you saw at the end, Parthol and Javen and potions weren't enough healing. Illydia's healing just meant that I didn't have to micro heal with potions. I never felt super important that we had a full-time healer on the job. Which I guess is very D&D if we recall. There's damage reduction, miscellaneous. Yeah, like here, like when we don't get to see enough stuff. Like, how much total damage dealt? 133,000, 73,000. So we dealt a lot of damage over our career.
What do you need?
Party members, easily options, session. So who do we think did the most damage?
By your leave.
Probably Larethar did the most damage because he was there the longest and he was just pure damage the entire time. After Larethar, maybe Jar healed. And I want to see how much healing Illydia did. Characters here. So damage dealt 214,000. 678 monsters killed. Yeah, that's an insane amount of damage when you think in the worlds of D&D. Biggest heal 57. Do we have total healing? Doesn't look that way. Biggest heal 72. Biggest crit 208. Biggest crit 270. Yeah. Critical hits 307 critical hits. 1,051 critical hits. So yeah, the numbers are a little bit bigger than you might expect from D&D, but I still think it was all right. I sort of gave the overview of the game before I got distracted looking at the statistics. So overall, I don't think
at your service.
I don't think it was. Oh, we can't just work back. That's fine. Exit to main menu. I don't think it's as bad as people thought or felt. It wasn't great. It was solid. Honestly, just as an interesting piece of video game history, it was fun to play through. And later on, we'll come back. Oh, we don't need Test Warlock anymore. Later on, we'll come back, and we'll do Rage of Demons with a new character. It sounds like lore-wise, we're supposed to do it with the same character, but I just want to try out some new builds. Don't want to be a cleric anymore. And overall, I think that, I mean, it's what, like 7 years later? a little long. The Luskin stuff we could have shortened up, maybe done something with the were-rats more than we did. Like, I feel like that's another complaint, is a lot of the story just sort of got dropped as we went, which is fine. Javen was underused. All of our companions were kind of underused. Still, I liked it. C+. But again, a general disclaimer is that I'm a very, very easy grader when it comes to things, because I've dinked around in things like, what was that program you used to be able to make your own like mud or adventure text games in? I've played around in that. I've played around with various different RPG makers. So I know that I'm not very good at doing any game design stuff. So I'm a very, very light, easy grader. So C+ for me, because I enjoy creating characters and doing builds. I enjoy the dungeon crawl parts of this, even if they're a little sloggy at hard. I feel like a lot of enemies were just kind of HP sponges. We didn't need to be very creative. You saw the two end bosses went down pretty easily, especially when we burned consumables on the very last one. So if this is the sort of game you like RPGs, you are interested in D&D more for the world and experience than the actual experience of D&D tabletop, it's fine. It's good fantasy. Well, it's fantasy, and it's good enough for a game. It's no Solasta, which I'm playing with Jonas, and I'm enjoying that a lot more. But that's also because that's multiplayer. So yeah, there we go. You can now see the full playthrough. If you start at video 1 to whichever one this is, 22, 23, you can see the full playthrough. It's almost 100% of everything, except I didn't bother finding those marked rubies because I just don't have time for that scavenger hunt. I'll just be honest. And I don't think it was going to do anything different, right? A few narrative complaints I'm going to have before we close out. It was just pure laziness that not every line in that ending was voiced. Don't know why they weren't voiced. It seemed to be any of the branching paths for the characters. They just didn't bother voicing them. Because it was Javen, Illydia, and Larethar. Those didn't have voiced stuff. Why? There's only this isn't like one of the Pathfinder, Kingmaker, or Wrath of the Righteous slideshows where you were just plugging in text the whole time. You did voiceovers for some of them, do it for all of them. That was just laziness. Big oversight that after the reveal where they kill Bryn, where they reveal Bryn has been dead the whole time, if you go back to camp, no one reacts to that. As far as I can tell, Jarhild only has a reaction to that if she's there in the moment. She doesn't really mention Bryn or Bellamy in the finale, which is fine. That's probably perfectly in character for her to be focused on it, but it just felt weird that Jarhild is our last guildmate, our last real connection to that. There's just nothing there. Those are some big narrative misses, but overall, it works. So there we go. That's all of my complaining, my general things. I guess the downside is I don't think you can even buy this game anymore on Steam. So I guess if my inflated C+ grading on a curve opinion makes you want to play this, sorry, I don't know how you can do it. But there we go. Well, come back to Rage of Demons some other time, and we'll decide what we're going to play in Rage of Demons at that point. But there we go. The finale of Sword Coast Legends.